over in Ashby, Coach Risbrudt's home area, and, well, what was 44-28, right?
44-28, Craig. It was a frustrating game to coach, but it was an excellent game to watch. That's what I hear. Because there were so many highs and lows, and I lost my voice in about the second quarter. I got hoarse, and I was screaming my head off and at the referees and at the players, but nobody heard me, so that was good.
Yeah, a little whisper in the back in the distance there. Well, I saw the recap, and David Selvig threw for 3 touchdowns. David Folden scored 3 touchdowns. Evan Newman scored a couple for you, and Brooks Walter even got in the end zone on a blocked punt.
That's right.
That's kind of exciting.
That was good for him. Tell you, before the game started, we were almost up 14-0. It just happened so fast. We kicked off, and they got the ball and punted, and it was a poor snap. The snap hit the ground, and then Jason Lindquist picked it up, and by then our guys were in there, and Ryan Voster got a little hand on it, and ball went backwards, and then Brooksy fell out in the end zone. So he was pretty fired up. That made his, anytime a defensive tackle can score, well, it's certainly going to make his football career. He'll remember that for a long time. Evan Newman kicked the extra point. We kicked off again and held, and they punted, and our first play, David Folden ran for a 47-yard run. And boys, he really carried us last night, Craig, offensively. We had a number of big plays, and he had a part of a lot of them. He really accelerated to the inside. He broke outside, broke some tackles, but boy, with his speed and quickness, it was really tough for them to bring him down on an open field. So it was really a great game for David. He had 123 yards, average 8 yards a carry. His longest run was that first one at 47, and a couple touchdowns, and it was fun to watch him play last night.
And you had over, 200 yards receiving last night, too.
Yeah, and we completed, 7 passes, and, almost all of them were for long yards. Folden caught a screen pass later on in the second half of 58 yards, and that was really a fun play to watch, where he caught the ball and then cut it back against the grain and turned it up, a speed going around the corner, and Evan Newman had one for 57. Michael Levang had a couple, or I thought 2 or 3, and I looked at the stat sheet and we only had 1. But, they were called back because of holding. We had 11 penalties last night, so there was just so many highs and lows. And Ryan Erkenbrad cut a touchdown pass for 20 yards. But after we got ahead 14-0, Craig, kind of a sad note, Kipper Nelson broke his collarbone in the first quarter, and so he went down, and that was kind of tough, and wasn't able to come back in. But boy, they sure that's when Ashby seemed to rise to the occasion. Jason Lindquist, we keyed on him, Craig, and I told him this after the game. I said, we keyed on him, and we still couldn't stop him. He is really a football player.
He's an athlete.
He's really something. I was so impressed with him, and he just did everything. He kicks off, he punts, he does the returns. He's the middle linebacker on defense, and carries the ball all the time. He's passing. He's just an all-around good football player, and I thought he played. When Kipper Nelson went out, he picked up, for both of them, and just decided that he was going to do it. And it was, tell you, if we tackled him high, he never went down. Yeah. And so, even when 2 or 3 guys hit him at the same time, and if you got him low and you hit him low first, and then go from there, why then we were able to stop him. But boy, he's really a horse. It was fun to watch.
A little bit of weight work there, maybe making him a tough one to tackle.
Well, it's obviously something. I wish I would have told him. I just had a few words after the game. I really hope he goes to community college, because I want to watch him play next year. He can stay on the farm, help his dad milk the cows, and then go to community college and practice after that. But he's going to be he's a good one.
I think a lot of people will second that. We'd love to see him over here.
Yeah, and there's a number of other guys down there. Thormanson caught a touchdown pass, and he said he caught that one for me. That was dedicated to me. It was a 4th down, and he had a fingertip grab, and got down there in the right corner. He caught the extra point at the end of the game. And Wyatt Johnson, big tackle on the inside. And I say a little Vorlin, but he's not so little anymore. When I remember him, he was just a little guy running around. Now he's about 210, 215, I guess. He did a job blocking on the inside. And we were impressed with Wesley Ness on the defensive end. He's a very aggressive. When we were able to technique and do our blocks on him, we held him pretty good. But if you didn't have the technique and he got around, then he sacked our QB a couple times, and David was scrambling around, had to throw it away. more than once, and he had a good game. For only a sophomore, he's a good football player too. I played with his dad, and so it was fun to watch these kids play. There were so many highs and lows in the game, Craig, that it was really, I guess, a good game for us, because in 9-man football there's just so many highs and lows, and you can score right away. We had a lot of big plays, and the referees threw the flag 11 times, and so some of the big plays even were called back. But it's part of the game, and it was kind of good for our guys to not have momentum 100% of the game, but and just to see it switch over, because on some of their drives we couldn't stop those guys. They had good blocking from the halfbacks coming out. The Finkelson kid was a good blocker, and he went down with a sprained ankle, so he didn't come back, and so the subs were in there, but those guys that came in did a good job, I thought, because Lindquist just did everything for him.
How about David Selvig running the offense for you last night?
Well, David just seems to get better every game and just get more confidence. I was really impressed with his passing. He can throw it right to the numbers, and our guys were able to catch it. He was 6 for 14, and some of them were, with the wind and so on. But boy, the one he must have thrown, close to 50 yards in the air. He just really wailed on it and threw it all the way down there. And like I sent the play down by the goal line, and he audibled. And I was yelling, David, don't audible. I said, run the play, and he audibled, and we got a touchdown. So he made the right decision on that one.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that last week, and didn't the Hancock game. I noticed that he called 3 or 4 audibles during the game. How free is he to do that?
Well, I give him the freedom to do that. A lot of times, if I look at the defense and send a play, and I guess, one fault that I have is I always send the play in at the last minute, because I want to see how the defense lines up, and then throw the play in. But a number of times then they shift after the play is already in. So we give him the freedom to take and call it. We've added as many as 10 to 15 audibles that he can call, and he's got the freedom to change it. I guess if I was the quarterback and I saw a play that we're running to their strength and they're stacked in that area, I'd want to run something different. And he's done that. We just may have to change a couple of the schemes, because if you audible more than once at the same play, they're going to pick up on that. But
so the success has been pretty good when it's been done.
It really has, and we've been pleased with his audibling and the guys being able to pick it up too. Because it's you just hope they remember the count in the play when they go up to the line of scrimmage, and you throw a quarterback that says a bunch of numbers and colors on the line. Then you're wondering if they're gonna pick that up, but. They're able to they can do that on the line, and it's been worked out well for us.
How did your defense play last night? I was so impressed with the way they played against Hancock, and at 28 points, that's a lot of points for a team to score on a defense, and in 9-man it happens fast, I know. And you mentioned the good play of the Ashby players, but overall, were you pleased with the defensive side of the football?
Well, there was just so many highs and lows in the game, Craig, that at one time there was a great play made, and another time there was a mental mistake that allowed them to get some yardage. I guess Mario Picone played good for us on defense. He came out at the beginning of the game and had some hard hits, and he was in on 11 tackles, and he was really I thought played a good game last night. Michael Levang was in on 12 and had a sack of the quarterback. Evan Newman was in on 11, had an interception and knockdown pass. Jay Estebo wasn't feeling very well. He played linebacker for us. He had 4 unassisted tackles and was in on 7 assisted ones. But Dave and Folded really did a good job on on Kipper Nelson early in the game because when Kipper caught the passes, he only got about 10, 12 yards at a time. So that was pretty good for us to hold him down to that, because he can take and score from anywhere. And that was too bad that he went down. I hope he has a speedy recovery. And then Brooks Walters was in on 10, and Brooks, he was tough on the run last night. He had difficulty getting to their passer, their quarterback, Brad Nelson, who scrambled around. In fact, we had a tough time getting to him anyway. He's a good quarterback, Craig, and he can throw the ball, hit the money. and the pass is right there. And if he gets the ball off, there's a pretty good chance it's going to be caught because their end's got good hands. And he completed 56% of his passes, and he threw 34 times. And
wow.
And with Ashby throwing 34 and Hillcrest throwing 16, that's 50 times in the air. So it was a long game.
Yeah, that has a tendency to make it a longer game. You're right. Well, this was a big win for you because it puts you at 5-1 with 2 ball games to go, and you get to close out the season at home now, the regular season. And in fact, you could, with a couple of wins here or 1 win, you could probably get a home playoff game pretty easily in that opening round. You could have 3 games in a row at home here, Coach, with that possible playoff game. So you got to like your situation there.
Well, we like our schedule now. We're playing against Clinton Graceville, and they beat Underwood yesterday. We went down and watched them, and hopefully we can see some things in that scouting report, some tendencies that we can work on this week and go from there. And I talked to Coach Link about them, and we really got to be ready. In our Pheasant Conference, Craig, anybody can beat anybody on a given day. When Herman can play Wheaton 14-8 and have a chance to win at the end of the game, that's number 1 versus number 8 or 9, and so that's the kind of football schedule that we have. And of course we end up with Chicago, Alberta, who currently right now is undefeated. It'll be interesting to see if they will be still undefeated, because they still have to play Wheaton, I think, and and possibly Hancock too. I'm not sure, but I know they got to play Underwood and us, so it's probably just Wheaton, Underwood, and Hillcrest.
Right.
Right now, we're in the playoffs. It's just a matter of getting the seed, and the first 4 teams then get in the playoffs, and the 1 and 2 have the home field advantage. It's going to be nice for us because we played 6 games or 7 games. 6 games. We're
6 games.
We're 5-1. And
right.
We played 4 away and 2 home, so we're ready to have finish out the rest of our season at home.
Well, you are pretty much assured of a home field, aren't you? If a win over Clinton, I guess, would do it for you. Or a top seed, wouldn't it, in your section?
If we were to lose the next 2, that would put us at 5-3. I would imagine Verndale will certainly have a better record than that, and Ulan Hitterdal has lost 2. So,
okay.
I would say right now we're probably tied for the first and second spot, and if Ulan Hitterdal loses 1 more, that would be great. We would. Be open to playing them on our home field. We know they got a good football team, but Ashby or Underwood, if they get in, that'll certainly be a challenge for us too. So, in our Pheasant Conference, I really wouldn't want to play anybody twice.
Yeah, that's right.
After being in the first half, because it's very difficult to beat them a second. So that's going to be interesting.
Well, in talking to Coach Link about Clinton Graceville and watching them play yesterday, how do you think you match up both ways?
Well, I think physically it should be pretty much even. They're going to run from an unbalanced line, I guess, all the time. And of course, we're going to have to stop Skoog, their hard-hitting running back and linebacker. I guess out of 44 times that they carried the ball against Underwood, he carried it 40 times, or 41. So I guess it's not a secret who they're going to hand the ball off to.
I get tired thinking about being hit that many times.
Man, and then he's their best player on defense too. So he's in on the contact, I guess, on both sides of the ball. So he's an all-conference player from Clinton Graceville, and he made all-conference last year, and he'll do it again this year. And we got to stop him, and if we can do that, I think we'll be in there. But they also have some other weapons we got to watch out for, and if I could just mention also. I thought Peter Swenson last night did a good job for us at center. And, last week, Craig, I guess we had a lot of ink with right up on Evan Newman and Fargo Forum. And you wonder when that happens how it's going to affect your team in the next play. And oftentimes a big write-up comes and then the next game and they're up for you, and then you just kind of fall flat on your face. But we're fortunate that didn't happen because we had a lot of good plays, and our defense I thought played pretty good last night, although we still gave up 300 yards because of some big plays that they had and the hard running of Lindquist and the blocking of the line from Ashby, because they did such a good job. But Peter did a good job at center for us, going out and getting the linebacker and allowing the holes to open. David Folden just loves to run the tackle end gaps, and because once he can get through the line and And if Evan Newman did a good job blocking for us at fullback, if he can get the linebacker, and if it's an open field tackle for that cornerback, why, I think it's in our favor with David Folden running the ball. And Ryan Erkenbrack came in on defense at linebacker and did a good job for us. And so we're really pleased with how the younger players on our team are progressing too, Craig. We can always rely on Newman and Mike Levang to catch the pass, and for Folden to take and run it, and for Selvig to take and hit it, hit the receivers there. But we got some guys that are also part of our team that have a big key part.
Absolutely. That was a nice article on Evan and the Comets on Thursday, I think it was, in the Forum. If you didn't get a chance to see it, go to the library and take a look at it. And here I've opened up the paper, and on page 3 there was an article on the Perham girls volleyball team, which was unbeaten. So it was kind of fun to see 2 teams from our area being showcased like that. Congratulations on a great season so far, Coach.
Well, thanks, Craig. It was, like I mentioned, was a high and low, and just a fun game to watch. But
just so there's more highs than lows.
Yeah, that's right. They're a good football team, and they got a good shot at making the playoffs. They still got to play Wheaton and Hancock, and they're gonna have to play tough in those games. Maybe they could knock one of them off. You don't know. They're very capable of doing that because they played Chicago, Alberta, and scored I think close to 30 points against Chicago, Alberta, and they can score from anywhere. And it'll be interesting to see what happens now these final few games.
Say our kids and our dog have really gotten to be friends with your dog over the last few weeks. I just wanted to say that when your wife came to pick up your dog the other day, she said, "I'm glad that Richard has better control of his football team than he does of his dog."
Well, I know we should keep him tied up, but
No.
I want to thank you for feeding him over there, Craig.
No problem. This is kind of the neighborhood store, I think, for the dogs. But had to throw that in there, Coach. Sounds like you do a good job with the team, and
I got to work on that area.
Work on the dog.
Okay, we'll do that.
Richard Risbrudt of the Hillcrest Comets, 5-6, and they've got Clinton Graceville at 3 o'clock on Friday. That's it for our Coach's Show from Perkins, but stay tuned. We're going to Strom's Cafe and